Well, might as well start this thing off. Hello, and I'm Kelly Young, and this is going to be my first of many to be coming midnight showings of movies. Today we're going to be looking at Transformers 4. Hell of a way to start off a new show, right?
Oh my god. Can you believe that was 3 years ago? Jesus Christ. Things have gotten better around here, right? Right? Hello and welcome back to another midnight showing. As always, I'm Kelly, and 3 years I've been doing this, and holy shit, has it been a ride. Now, before we actually talk about the movie, I just want to say thank you, all 72 of you that have actually subbed to my channel and have gone through all of the crap with me. I thank you. You are the reason I do this, and I will keep doing this as long as money allows. So, now, time to talk about Transformers 5. Holy shit, there are 5 of these fucking things. Now, before we actually get into the meat and gritty of the good, bad of Transformers The Last Knight, aka Splooging of the Dog, let's talk about the other 4 previous ones and just my general thoughts on them. The first Transformers, I know a lot of people kind of put as like a guilty pleasure movie because of how bad the rest of the series got. It was more of a meh for me. When I grew up with Transformers, I grew up with the Dinobots from Beast Wars, and I grew up with the Minibots. I never got into the original stuff, and it was just never my thing. The first movie was meh. It wasn't horribly offensive. It wasn't horribly good either, but it exists. Transformers 2 is the first time I've ever been visibly disgusted with a movie. And yes, I'm talking about The Pretender that's turned into tentacle rape of Shia LaBeouf, things I don't need to see today. That one was overly long, overly complicated, essentially had the same plot as the first movie where they had to find a magic MacGuffin, and that didn't even turn out to do anything, so they ended up having to kill Megatron off in another way. Oh wait, sorry, not Megatron, The Fallen. Ugh. Yeah, the second one sucks, and it deserves every rebuke that people throw at it. Then we get to the third one, and by God, that one is boring as shit. It really is. Again, same plot as before, where they have to find a magical MacGuffin, and it's connected to another bad that's not Megatron, although voiced by Leonard Nimoy, and you just ruined more of his career, and... Peace, Leonard Nimoy. Peace. Nothing fucking happens in that movie until the last fucking act, and everything beforehand is just Shia LaBeouf at his fucking worst. I know people say that the Wiggies are worse in the second movie. In my opinion, they're worse in the third movie. Because in the third movie, I was so done with their shit that even when they weren't as bad as they were in the second one, it still felt like they were as bad. So yeah, the third one is boring as shit, and it sucks worse than the second one. And then we get to the fourth one, which is a terrible, terrible movie. But it's better than what came before because they basically replaced every one of the cast members. They started kind of a fresh, new, rebootish type thing. And honestly, when it got bad, it got hilariously bad in my opinion. To the point where I own this. Yes, this would be Transformers 4. That piece of shit film on Blu-ray. I bought it for 2 reasons. One, it is kind of a guilty pleasure for me. Although I'll admit there are parts of it that I will skip. And that's the wonderful, wonderful thing about a skip button. Is that it's there to be used. The other part is obviously that is a fucking awesome case. And I wish that they did this more often. And can you believe that I got this for $8? $8 the week that it came out. Yeah. No wonder I fucking bought it. Which finally leads us into the 5th one, The Last Knight. AKA, why the fuck are these movies still happening? And before anyone says, no, I didn't spend a cent on this movie. I had a free movie pass. I refused to give Michael Bay money, so I used that instead. And how does this movie measure up in comparison? Again, this is all personal opinion, but in my opinion, this is the worst one of the bunch. Yeah, this is worse than the dog humping. and the Witwickies. And worse than Transformer Balls. This one has no fucking clue what it's doing, when it's doing it, why it's doing it, who it's supposed to be doing it to, and has some of the worst blatant false advertisement in all of the Transformer movies. It's that fucking bad. So let's talk about it. Starting with, of course, the only section in this one. Where to begin with this bullshit? Okay, let's start with the false advertising as it ties in to the problems with the plot. The plot is the same as the other movies. Again, 5 movies. There's some mystical MacGuffin that they have to find, and they have to stop Evil Transformer from using mystical MacGuffin from destroying the world and or taking over. Ooh, we're doing this again. Although now it features some blatant retcons, but we'll get to those in a second. Let's talk about the false advertisement. Now, you might have noticed that on the posters and things, that Optimus Prime is front and center on all of them. In fact, there's a really awesome one, and if possible, I'm going to use it as the thumbnail for this video, just so you have a clue for it. But it's just like this really cool art thing where it's a bunch of robot shit and Optimus Prime with a sword just going like this. It's all weird, cool blue and green colors things. But you know what? I like that kind of stuff. Optimus Prime is in about 10 minutes of this movie. Give or take 5. And I emphasize the take part. Because Optimus Prime doesn't do jack shit until the last act. That whole sequence about, him being taken over and turned evil. Yeah, that's solved in 3 minutes by Bumblebee talking. Even though we saw him earlier rip out his voice box. So how the fuck is he talking? But we'll get into that more in a second. Oh sure, let's just market it around this one awesome action-packed robot guy and let's never use him. Hey, cameo? Hey, you got taken by the bad guy. See you in 3 hours. But it doesn't stop there. How many shots in the trailer did you see of them blowing up knights inside of medieval times or taking down a German Nazi fortress? Guess what? That is, again, only 10 minutes of this movie. And it literally is just there so that they can show it in the trailers. You could actually start that movie. The movie starts with them in past medieval times with King Arthur and a 3-headed King Ghidorah transformer made from the knights. Okay, where they give a mystical MacGuffin staff of creation, I think it's called, to Stanley Tucci as Merlin, who has no connection to Stanley Tucci in the 4th movie, so confusion. They fight for a couple of minutes while Anthony Hopkins narrates, and then boom, we're back in the modern day. They don't even flash back to that until about an hour in when they're talking with Anthony Hopkins again, in which case you could have just started there. You could have cut this entire opening 15 minutes off the movie, nothing changes. Oh, and get used to me saying that because it's going to be a recurring thing. Okay, so after that, where do we actually begin? We begin the story inside of the ruins of Chicago, which now they acknowledge exist again because, I don't know, we saw them repaired in the 4th movie, so I don't know how there's a demilitarized zone in Chicago again. Who knows? Then inside of this demilitarized zone, we get 4 kids acting like complete and utter asshole idiots because they're fucking kids, going into this demilitarized zone with 10-story tall robot monsters that are supposed to come and eat you. And we find out that the humans have created a new task force, TFT or TFL, something like that. I don't know. I don't give a shit. It's just the military again. You could slap any military name on these guys and it doesn't change who they fucking are. But they're out to hunt all of the Transformers, not just the Decepticons, but the Autobots as well, because are we really fucking doing this plot point again? Seriously, we didn't buy it inside of the 2nd movie, we didn't buy it in the 3rd movie, and we certainly didn't buy it in the 4th movie. Why the fuck aren't the humans trusting the Autobots? They don't need to trust all the Transformers, but the fucking Autobots have proven that they can be trusted. They want to live in peace. The Decepticons want to destroy everything. Hell, in the third movie, weren't you guys working together under heavy-duty supervision before you didn't trust them and had to shoot them off planet? Why is everyone acting like a stupid idiot again? Why can't you just remember that these ones are the good guys? But going on, we get back to the kids in the demilitarized zone who are instantly attacked by an Ed 209 ripoff because everybody's got to rip off Ed 209. That's the only human Transformer that we can make, even though in the last movie we were making full-size Transformers. Oops. And of course, we get that scene you saw in the trailer with the girl throwing the explosive bottles at the thing before, it walking off, and they hide under a good Autobot who then savagely gets killed in front of them. Okay, which brings us to that girl. And, yeah, she does nothing in the movie. Yeah, that whole trailer advertisement campaign about fighting like a girl. Yeah. She does fucking nothing in the movie. Literally, she saves the kids for about 2 minutes before they're instantly targeted by more of those walkers. They kill the Autobot. I think his name was Canopy because he hid underneath a bunch of rubble, I guess. And then Mark Wahlberg shows up and saves everything. So you could literally cut that entire next 10, 15 minutes of this whole sequence of the kids out from the movie. Nothing changes. Just start it with Mark Wahlberg looking for Transformers that have gone down in this section. You can remove this little girl completely. Because the first plot point of the movie doesn't happen until this moment. When, while looking through all of the ruins, he comes across a downed Autobot ship, which turns out to be one of those knights, which doesn't make any sense because they crash landed back in the medieval ages, so why is one only crash landing now, even though it still has the talisman thing that they gave to the... plot hole after plot hole. Just accept it. It's Transformers. But yeah, he gives him this little talisman thing and says, go find the staff, protect the staff. Mark Wahlberg doesn't believe two shits to this, so he decides to just leave with the thing, of course. And he goes back home to a junkyard desert. By the by, you know that you suck at filmmaking if I can tell the fact that your desert scene is filmed in fucking New Mexico versus everything else which is filmed in fucking Chicago. Maybe you should keep some continuity there. I mean, you just don't have this shift in setting without some kind of passage of time. Because you make it sound like Mark Wahlberg goes to this place every fucking day. It's only a few hours away. Is there a desert that's a few hours away from Chicago? Google Maps this. I don't think so. And he's hiding in this junkyard with all of the Autobot friends, and the military finds him, and they make a deal with Megatron because that's a fucking smart idea. 5 fucking movies into... I'm sorry. Nobody has collective memory in this movie. Nobody. They're making deals with fucking Decepticons. They are fucking haunting the Autobots again. People are playing fucking polo as if there wasn't some kind of world-ending event not 2 fucking movies ago. God damn it, have some collective memory. Oh, but the stupidness doesn't stop there. Then Anthony Hopkins realizes, he has the talisman, sends his buddy Cogsworth, who is supposed to be a human-sized robot person. I don't know if he's supposed to be a pretender or not, but he is just a fucking idiot. He comes and grabs Mark Wahlberg, takes him away, and meets up with generic boobs with glasses, number 3 for these fucking films, and says that they have to go find the staff. The end. There's the plot of the story. Again, first 30 minutes, you can cut it out of the movie. You can remove this character and a bunch of the other supporting side cameos in this movie. It was nice to see the military guy from the first 3 movies come back, but considering how little he actually does in the film, what was the point of bringing him here? And of course, as I mentioned, female lead who's literally just supposed to be boobs with glasses. She doesn't do anything except pick up the staff. Why not just rewrite it and say that Jaeger can pick up the staff because he was given the talisman? That talisman doesn't do fucking anything else in the movie except turn into a sword for 5 seconds. He doesn't even use the sword to fight any of the other Transformers later in the movie when he might actually need it. And remember, in this universe, as established by this movie right here, their swords are guns anyway, so why doesn't he just turn it into a blaster form and shoot them? Again, you can just remove good chunks of this movie and nothing changes. You can remove outright characters, nothing changes. And again, you can remove big swatches of this movie and nothing changes. You can take out the first 30 minutes, nothing changes. You can take out that stupid little girl, nothing changes. Military guy from the previous films, nothing changes. The stupid John Turturro cameo, nothing changes. Nothing changes if you remove these portions of these movies that just don't add up. But okay, let's talk about the scene incongruities here for a second. There are two types inside of this film that are very, very noticeable and distracting. The first one is just the inconsistencies between the scenes themselves. There's a big one near the end where Mark Wahlberg saves Optimus Prime from getting his head cut off after he's turned good, after 3 minutes of being evil. Ugh. And that's that one time where the talisman turns into the fucking sword. We get this big, epic moment with music and a swirling camera that's spinning around. You got Mark Wahlberg on this side with a sword, only to have it cut and turn into literally him standing on the opposite side of Optimus Prime, looking stoic and badass in like broody Batman pose. We didn't see him move. You just cut from one to the other. This is supposed to be a continuous shot. It sets it up like it's a continuous shot, yet he somehow teleports. He's got the sword gone and he's in a different position. Come on! And this isn't the only time it happens. Bumblebee teleports from side to side. There's an entire chase sequence in London that takes place apparently on 2 streets because you kept cutting back to them. And they noticed because they had that same stupid fork that you kept going through. You went through that fork like 3 times! Oh, but that brings us to the second type of scene incongruity. Because, for some reason, the aspect ratio shifts on this movie. What is the aspect ratio for those who don't know? Oh, you know those 2 black bars that are at the tops of all the films these days? And you notice how on my video there aren't 2 black bars? Yeah, in this movie, between scenes, you'll cut from black bar, not black bar, black bar, not black bar, not black bar, not black bar. And it's completely at fucking random. You think that, oh, well, they add the black bars at this action scene, similar to what The Dark Knight did. You know, because, what's the name? Christopher Nolan. He filmed everything with that IMAX camera, remember? To get those big, open, sweeping shots, especially when the Batmobile was running over shit. No, they'll have those black bars when they're just sitting there fucking talking. Cut, they're gone. Cut, they're back. Cut, they're gone. It's not it's completely incongruent. They follow the same fucking pattern. Every 5 fucking minutes, every 5 fucking seconds, they will shift because this film feels like it's edited by a goddamn monkey. Now, I actually just recently saw a film called It Comes at Night, and I am going to record a video on it. At the time of recording this, I haven't yet. I am going to. I just want to get caught up and get all the ones that I have recorded off my hard drive first. But inside of that film, they had something similar where they kept changing the aspect ratio every time the main character sleeps and has a nightmare. And then when he wakes up, oh, everything's fine, until the climax where it does that again to signify, oh my god, his life has become a living nightmare. Oh, I get it. Yeah, there's no reason to do it like that, like they did inside of It Comes at Night, or like they did in The Dark Knight Rises. It's just shifting. It feels like he had 6 cameras at every location, and one of them was an IMAX one, and that's where they used a third of the fucking footage for the movie. It just feels like that parts of this are just recorded on a different camera. Can't you afford fucking good equipment? Why not just do the whole thing inside of the big IMAX camera? I'm asking why at this point. This is fucking Michael Bay we're talking about. There is no why. We all know the why, because he likes earning money and he doesn't give a shit. Just go watch the epic rap battle of history on it.
I ain't got that guilt money, I don't give a fuck. I take my checks to the bank and I sign them with my nut.
Oh, but then let's just talk about the characters. I already mentioned how boobs with glasses is fucking pointless in this movie. And she is even fucking worse when you get right down to it. She doesn't save herself or stand up for herself in any way, shape, or form. She's all constantly had to be saved by fucking Mark Wahlberg inside of this movie. She does nothing. She's just there because we have to have someone who's pretending to be smart on the female genre in this film, rather than actually writing someone who has a point for fucking being there. Oh, but don't think that Mark Wahlberg is immune to the bad character-itis that seems to be infecting all of these movies, because although inside of the fourth movie here, he was, he's an iffy character at best, but at the same time, it's a stupid role, which is a role that Mark Wahlberg excels at, much like The Rock. They're supposed to be stupid, and there are times when you can actually get laughs out of how stupid it is. Case in point, the scene where Mark Wahlberg chugs a fucking beer and throws it at the guy, which they try to shamelessly recreate in this movie to no avail. The problem with him in this movie is that most of his likability has been pulled out for angst, brooding, and acting like a general jackass. Oh yeah, that's exactly what I want to see from this guy. Fuck, there's nothing likable about Mark Wahlberg in this movie. He has to stay in hiding because the government wants him and the Autobots, so he can't talk to his daughter even though the government knows where his daughter is. I mean, for fuck's sake, all they have to do is kidnap his daughter and say, hey, we have your daughter, turn in the Autobots, or we kill her, or imprison her for the rest of her life. If you're really out there trying to deal with this extraterrestrial threat that's going to destroy all life on the planet, yeah, I think that threatening their daughter really isn't going to be that big a deal for these guys. But yeah, it just makes him all mopey, stupid, and jackassery. He tries to talk a mile a minute like he did in the first one, and at least this time he doesn't go, I'm an inventor. In this one, yeah, he's just talking a mile a minute being a dick. Especially to the little girl that stowed away. Again, pointless girl you could kick out of the movie, but he's just being a dick. Anthony Hopkins, Stanley Tucci are both wasted in this movie. Anthony Hopkins, they try to give some kind of a meaningful death, but then they completely fuck it over by not keeping consistent tone throughout it, where he starts doing his little I am Odin father speech when he's talking about the medieval times and the fucking knights and honor and stuff, to when you see him in present day where every other line is just him saying something off-kilter for a British person like him. Yeah. Case in point, most of his dialogue comes down to, shut up, dude! Will you stop it? That is cool. And yeah, broy humor for the win, yay. Oh, jeez, guys, he's that dude! Oh, he's so awesome! Oh, again, broy humor. And then the last thing about the characters I'll talk about, you might have noticed that I haven't actually been talking too detailed about the Transformers in this movie. Because like Optimus Prime, they have no fucking point. This isn't about the Transformers. But at least in the last movies, when they made it about Sam Witwicky and whatnot, the Transformers were still fucking there. The only Transformer that is in any kind of decent amount of screen time in this film is fucking Bumblebee. The rest of them, they get a cameo at the junkyard with the dinosaur, with T-Rex dinosaur one, which we'll talk about in a second. Fucking Ken Watanabe bot, who randomly has gotten a paint job from blue to red and black, which makes him blend into the background a little too much, guys. I think you should have fixed that in post-production. Just saying. Then you got Co-Shares, the green one, who has 3 fucking lines in the movie and barely even seen. You've got the John Goodman bot, again, 3 lines, and he's only there just looking, I'm gonna shoot stuff, American, But yeah, they make the cameo at the fucking junkyard, and then they're gone. They're gone the second that Yeager leaves. And they don't show up until the last act of the movie, again, with Optimus Prime, who magically just shows up on a ship that's underwater that needed to be tracked by special amulet because they turn Optimus good again, and suddenly the Autobots are just there for the final battle, even though they should be across the fucking planet, because you're at Stonehenge now, and they were in Chicago desert area, remember? Apparently you don't. And if you're actually keeping your eyes open, you might notice there are a few missing Autobots there, like the T-Rex and the fucking Triceratops that we saw inside of the action scene with Megatron trying to take everything again. Where did they fucking go? They're not in the final battle. And of course, we get the big baddie who is like some kind of robot lady who is the embodiment of Cybertron and their creator and wants to bring Cybertron back with the staff of creation. But wait a minute, didn't Cybertron show up inside of the third one? They were trying to teleport in, and wasn't that planet the size of fucking Jupiter? Well, why is it only about as big as the moon inside of this movie? And why is it suddenly being controlled by this lady? Don't you think she should have showed up by the third one? Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. No one has collective thought in this movie. And the last thing I'm going to touch upon is the piss poor editing. This movie has no idea what fucking tone is. Every 5 seconds it shifts from super serious and dramatic to stupid little fart joke to random sexist portrayal of historians. It doesn't know what it wants to do. Every 5 seconds, every single cut, its tone shifts and it's just stupid. I can't follow what's going on. Granted, a couple of times this did get chuckles out of me, like when they first start talking to Anthony Hopkins and he's explaining the whole night stuff. His stupid robot pal Cogsworth starts playing his piano with the music blaring and it's like, I was just trying to make it more dramatic, sir. But at the same time, although that joke gets chuckles out of me, every other time he does it, it doesn't work. Like when he just starts attacking Yeager for making a off-kilter hit on the fucking historian girl, because of course there's no way they're getting together. And he starts beating the living shit out of him even though they were just having a civil conversation at that point. What the fuck is happening? Now, if this scene had been edited properly and had a continuous flow and didn't use so many cuts and just gave us some more wide shots of what was actually fucking happening, it probably wouldn't be bad. But every single goddamn scene in this movie is edited as if it's a fucking action scene. 10,000 fucking cuts. There's more cuts in this movie than there are in fucking Jason Bourne. The movie franchise that's known for having 10,000 cuts. And it doesn't matter what they're doing in every scene. The editing and tone never match what's actually happening on screen. What's happening on screen is they're fucking talking. They're not really moving around. Why are we cutting to 7 different angles of them just standing there talking? This is filmmaking 101. This is editing 101. Seriously, what the fuck? And it just keeps going. It doesn't matter where we try to stop talking about this because I could find more to rant about, to rage about. I can't do it. So yeah, you guys all know what's coming because really, what else could it be? Let's just move on to it. That's for you, Mr. Bay. That's for you. This movie gets my worst recommendation possible, and honest to God, fuck it! Because there's nothing in this movie of merit. The action is subpar. The editing is a joke. The characters are cardboard cutouts at best. At worst, offensive stereotypes. The Autobots do fucking nothing in it until the final battle. You falsely advertise to us knights and fucking Germany in a flashback saying that Bumblebee landed and fought in World War II, but that's not possible. We saw him land in the first movie. Not to mention that Barricade died in like the third movie. Why is he in the fifth one again? It doesn't fucking matter. Everything is wrong here. And honest to God, there's much better movies out there. You want a better action movie that's in theaters right now, go fucking watch Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman deserves more time and attention than this film will ever deserve. Not to mention money. Let's be honest, this movie is still probably going to be financially profitable, even if it doesn't do very well here in America, because we're sick of this shit at this point. Internationally, it'll probably make its money back. But, honest to God, don't waste your money. Don't fucking deal with it. Don't see it. Don't let your friends see it. Don't let anybody see it. Go watch Wonder Woman. If you're looking for something that's outside of theaters better, go watch fucking Power Rangers right now. Just go. It is so much more worth it than this will ever be. And yeah, that's it for me. And just one last time before I go, I just want to say thank you for sticking with me for these 3 fucking years. Through all of the good movies, all of the bad movies, all of the controversial movies, including Ghost in the Shell up there. Can't see Scarlett Johansson because of it. But, thank you for sticking through all of it for me. I hope to do more in the future. I am planning on doing a smaller kind of editorial thing here in a little bit. Hopefully it'll be out in about a week or two. I hope to have it sooner, but I'm going to plan realistically, so look forward to that. And yeah, if you liked what you see, be sure to hit the like button, share this video with your friends, subscribe for more. If you want to follow me on all the social medias, all the links are in the description down below. Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, all that stuff, all down there. And yeah, that's it for me, so I'll see you all next time for another 3 years.